Breaking down how to get you prepared for the severe weather season. Are you prepared? Well, you should be ready for the threats looming on the horizon any time of the year, but especially as we head into what could be a potentially stormy summer, one that many experts are especially concerned about. We bring in now our digital writer, Dennis Mercereau, to talk about why now? Why does the severe weather season kickstart this time of year? What are the main ingredients?
Severe weather picks up in intensity across Canada during the early summer months as the jet stream starts to move north. Now, there are two factors involved. There's a large-scale factor and a small-scale factor. The large-scale factor is the jet stream. It starts to move north as the seasons heat up. The atmosphere warms up in the southern latitudes and it starts to push the jet stream north of the border, and that brings the active storm track over Canada. And we start to see low pressure systems moving across the Rockies. It brings, strong upper level winds. We can tap into the Gulf moisture streaming straight up into the prairies out of the Gulf of Mexico. And it all comes together to create the perfect setup for one round after another of severe thunderstorms that can produce damaging winds, large hail, heavy rainfall, and sometimes even tornadoes.
Wow.
Now, there's also a small scale factor involved with lake breezes coming off of Lakes Erie, Ontario, and Huron. Now, we see this a lot in southern Ontario. These lake breezes act like miniature cold fronts, and they scoop up all that warm and unstable air during the afternoon hours. And they'll create some pretty robust thunderstorms that can produce some pretty intense heavy rain, lightning, hail, and damaging winds.
Okay, what about this year in particular now? What has meteorologists and experts especially concerned as we head into the 2024 season?
Meteorologists are very concerned because they see signals that there's going to be heat domes over the central United States this summer. A heat dome is a very intense ridge of high pressure that fosters very warm temperatures and very bright sunshine. And beneath a ridge, air sinks and warms up as it descends toward the ground. And you can't really get very good thunderstorms beneath that. So any systems or disturbances that approach those ridges from the west or from the north kind of deflect around it like a guardrail almost. And it may force all of those thunderstorms to move up into the southern prairies and over the Great Lakes region. So when we have these ring of fire setups, as meteorologists like to call them, we could see lines of severe thunderstorms move through the region, which could bring damaging winds and possibly even some tornadoes as well.
It makes you picture that image of literally a train of storms as when you think of a storm track being nudged into a certain area. Let's talk about different geographical areas now. We hear so much about Tornado Alley, but how can different geography either aid or stop severe weather?
Yeah, Tornado Alley is the perfect place. So across the prairies, because you get those systems coming across the Rockies, and you get that flow of warm, unstable air coming out of the south, and there's not really much there to stop it from happening. So you get just whenever a perfect setup arrives, you can get pretty bad thunderstorms. Now, there are some spots in the country where thunderstorms are less common during the summer. Like you'll see in Vancouver or Halifax, you'll see the stabilizing influence of the oceans kind of cuts down on the thunderstorm activity. But it's important to remember that nobody in Canada is immune from thunderstorms, and no cities are really immune from severe weather or even tornadoes either. So it's always wise to stay aware and be prepared.
Yeah, time to take some time to review your emergency preparedness plan really quickly. What are a few things folks can do at home to get ready?
You can always be ready for power outages. You can have a power bank for your cell phone, and you need to have a way to get warnings on your cell phone and your weather radios if you're asleep, especially because there are a lot of nocturnal thunderstorms during the summer months. So there's always the need to be aware of severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings, even when you're sleeping or otherwise tuned out.
Dennis, thank you. No better time than the present to be prepared for severe weather, and that's what we're doing for you right here at the Weather Network.